To steal a line from the man in chat named 4Gate Russian, it's time to step into the badass arena of badassitude, the After Hours Gaming League playoff showdown between National Instruments and Team Palantir. Currently tied at 1-1, and what better way to decide the fate of a company than to go to game number 3? He said without an ounce of irony in his voice, because this is some serious shiz. In the bottom left corner from the Team National Instrument, it is going to be none other than the inimitable Sergeant York. Clap, 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 clap. Down in the bottom right-hand corner. His real name is Bobby, but he has not used that name for many years. He is the Terran Hope, the Terran hero, the man that when he flexes, dogs bark from 5 miles away because of the high pitch of tension in his biceps. It is XCal! Clap, 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 clap. The map is going to be Newkirk City. It's a map that could potentially allow for some brilliant mid and late game gameplay, but what we generally see is players go all in once they have 2 or 3 bases. However, I'm hoping that we end up with something really awesome like that late term play. Let's talk a little bit about it. Down the bottom right, XCal does have this wide open front of the base. This allows for many early pressures, roach, baneling, even basic zergling to be quite a pain in the ass. You need just so many depots to wall that off and so many SCVs to repair against embarrassment. So I think it's very reasonable for XCal to have I don't know, what is that? Whatever, we can continue with the game. It looks like some sort of it's an excited tadpole, I guess is what it is. Either way, this frontal entrance seems very reasonable, very easy to hold off on other maps. Why not do it here? Because we have Reapers. XCal looks very neatly poised to follow up with a Reaper opening, allows you for the expand, and of course to scout what your opponent is up to. Derpy doopy doo. Ice water feels good on the sore throat of a caster who doesn't know when to stop talking. XCal finishing up the barracks. Will it be a Reaper? Yes! Bam! Nailed it long before it was even seen. Half-court shot, bucketed, taking a swing through the goalie's legs. Unbelievable. Nails it yet again, despite the fact that there's really only 2 or 3 solid Terran openings. But look at this. We see a second barracks. It could be Reaper straight into more Reapers. Hopefully he gets a second gas, 3 more barracks, and goes Reapers with a capital Reaper. In the bottom left-hand corner, Sergeant York. What's Sergeant York going to be doing? It looks like he could very well be playing standard 4-queen opening. A reasonable way to play, given that we can join these bases easily with creep, but I don't like this as a third base. Zergs are a little bit more apt to take this northern expansion. Up in the Northlands, it's very easy to take a 4th base up here. The Terran player needs to have drops and really strong pushes to take all those bases out. He can have either drops or a strong push in the mid game, but not both, thereby making 4 bases relatively easy to hold. However, Sergeant York is about to be Sergeant Borked by this one Reaper. He needs to get those queens out in time. Keep in mind, Reapers are not particularly intimidating in the early game. They're just very annoying. This is very much so like that kid in class who always wants to be right, and anytime the teacher asks a question, he raises his hand first and is surprised that the teacher hasn't called on him yet. He knows the answer. That's what the Reaper is like. Ugh! Micro utilized efficiently by XCal, aka Bobby's 7 HP Reaper. More Reapers coming out. It's going to be a very aggressive harassment. 1 command center en route. Will there be more Reapers, or will there be just more command centers? We don't know. Barracks being moved, it could imply that there's a tech lab to be planted. I would expect it to be a tech lab. Or perhaps it is a reactor. In the meantime, the Reapers healing themselves because they are class 2 mutants. They have a healing factor of above 1. Looks like the Spine Crawler will do its dastardly poking, and the Zerglings, oh, they just had one job, prevent anything from waltzing up the cliff, and waltzing is the only thing that these little Reapers are doing. Now, I love the fact that Terran is being very conservative with the use of these Reapers. Why be aggressive when there's a risk that you won't be able to go home again? Ooh, nice pick off of the Creep Tumor. Excellent micro. It looks like XCal. What is his APM? It's in the hundreds. 284 is his average APM. His heart is pounding. His neck is pumping blood to his brain. And all those neurons are operating in a brilliant symphony of Terran micro. In the units lost tab, we see nada been lost. And if there was only a Queen Energy loss tab, we could really see the true damage that was going down. Looks like Widow Mines are being produced right now by XCal. It looks like he'll be transitioning up into some sort of starport. But keep in mind... Oh! A Queen goes down. A Creep Tumor goes down. Will another Queen go down? Oh! And... Oh, one Reaper goes down. But 2 Queens were killed off in that attack. Excellent micromanagement. We're seeing all them Lings in production. All the Spine Crawlers coming up. The layer just now starting at 7:30. Quite late, quite sad, quite frowny for Terran. Frowny for Zerg. The Terran actually has an upside-down frown, more commonly known as Glee. XCal expands. Goes straight for the starport. Interesting choice. Looks like the Speed Zerglings. Ooh. Have eliminated the Reaper threat in the unit tab. No Reapers. Are there even any units to defend? Oh my god. XCal in a state of panic. His army supply is at 8. In the unit tab. In the unit tab, what will it be? Burrow, mine, burrow. Do your best. Do your most wicked deed. What? And... Oh... Got 3! Looks like a Hellion is out there now to defend. Is there any sort of armory? No, it will in fact not be. The Hellbat drops. Down the bottom left, we see that it looks like Sergeant York is already pre-preparing for Total Bull. Total Bull times 2. He has a layer done yet. We haven't really seen any tech choice out of our Zerg player from Team National Instruments. But it looks like Mech is the tech choice of XCal, who interestingly is beginning to add on more Marines. Excellent Overlord placement, creating the slice right up the middle of the map. Please ignore me. Nothing to see here. A Viking coming out right now. That'll be a real problem for those Overlords that basically only float and make silly noises. That looks juicy and ripe for the picking. XCal, anytime he sees fruit, especially the low-hanging kind, he doesn't even take it off the tree. He just sinks his teeth in and begins chewing. Oh! 2 Zerglings get picked off. Some of that nice Heart of Swarm physics in action. Oh, it looks like the Palantir Terran is beginning to roast an increasing number of things. Doesn't really do as much damage as he would have liked. Just another quartet of drones get taken down. Will the Widow Mine do anything? Will it retreat? A tragic end. Viking in the middle, though, will get some free Overlord kills. Meanwhile, back home, Marines being built 2 at a time, tanks being built 2 at a time, and Widow Mines being built 2 at a time. Upgrades are now going to transition to coming out 2 at a time while he builds the SCVs 2 at a time. The turret count is at 2. He'll burrow exactly 1 depot, letting out 2 of these Hellions to advance forward to the second base of the Zerg player, where he will have none other than 2 Creep Tumors. Infestation Pit coming down, which can really only mean one thing. Swarm Host. We already see that most of the gas has been devoted to these Mutalisks. A lot of minerals up in the bank. That does mean that there's an opportunity to expand and to expand again. There's Speed Overlords coming out. Thor's being produced, though. Could be potential danger time for Zerg if he runs those Mutalisks head on into some Thors in the Widow Mine camp. We have 1 Widow Mine in the main. I'm starting to get a little concerned. Where will they go? Hellbat's being produced now. Fury pours out of the hearts of millions. A Thor. If XCal doesn't win this, then he might be a Thor loser. Jeez, I'm getting thin. Very thin on the jokes tonight. It looks like those Javelin missiles do indeed spear a couple of the hearts of those Mutalisks, but of course, they're like worms. They have many hearts in that elongated, wingy body. Now we see XCal beginning to send up what could be the end of Bio. Still producing vestigial Marines, a pair at a time. Will the third base be able to get taken down? It's time to whisper to heighten the tension of the moment. AHGL holds the watchtower. He actually holds both watchtowers. He can see everything. Expansion coming up. AHGL looking good. 5 swarm hosts on the way. A drop. No combat shield. No stim marines. And if you think it can't do damage, it's probably because you watch football and have never considered how powerful those players are in rugby. It looks like these marines are going to have to micro well to deal with these zerglings. No way, they don't have to micro at all. It's down to... Oh, what are you running away for? Ah, the medevac, before anything even went down, he said, I'm out of here. He is like the boss in a zombie movie. He dies in the first 15 minutes because he tries to just go drive to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee because stress he deals with food. And of course, the 7-Eleven guy has already been eaten by a zombie because, you know, zombie tropes. Uh-oh. Nice Widow Mine placement. Nice Widow Mine placement. In the meantime, it looks like Sergeant York is beginning to get a lot of those upgrades. He's beginning to send in the Swarm Host. Does he have Enduring Locusts? He does. Their endurance is maximum. C22 upgrades coming out down. Now, there's only 3 factories, but that's okay. More command centers are going down. This is the key control point for Terran. This is a very clear, opportune location for a 4th. It looks like the Thor decides to lock himself in, you silly Thor! You can't eat any food now. Swarm hosts being produced en masse, as we've seen in the last game from National Instruments. National Instruments is doing the classic Zerg tactic. Begin making swarm hosts. Do not ever transition ever under any circumstance, period. In the units lost tab, it looks like those tanks holding strong, keeping the locust count to a minimum. Who do you think's gonna win? Because I'll be honest, I have no idea. It's free units versus long-range units. Will it be Team Palantir's AHGL? Will it be Team National Instruments' Sergeant York? Couple Zerglings out. Expand. Well defended. Third base. Up and running. Mineral income looking good for Zerg. Gas income. Not as good. Swarm host trying to find another angle. Will they be able to absorb those pesky, pesky mines? Be a very nice opportunity for him to pick those off. The alligator clip upgrade is now starting for AHGL. He's continuing to produce Thors, tanks, Hellbats, upgrades, other things as well. You know, there's not a lot of analysis to do. Here's the thing. If you go for Hive, you get the Vipers with the blinding cloud. Those tanks suddenly disabled. You get right up in the faces. Abduct works very well with Swarm Host. It draws those tanks up into the free unit zone. Every time Sergeant York launches another volley of locusts, I can only hear a very timid man throwing up. That is the sound effect that I hear. 3 upgrades coming out, or as many Zergs like to call them, the GG upgrades coming out in the unit station. We do see that it is 17 swarm hosts. If we actually go to the army tab, it's amazing to see that the Zerg has a much higher army supply tab than the Terran. Terran's a little bit ahead in terms of that gas overall army value. Blue Flame Hellion dropped with a mine to boot. What will the mine do? 7 workers killed. Will he get to double digits? Will we give him a gold medal anyways? Oh, he gets 14 kills. Oh, another drop! An actually genuinely effective drop. 16 workers killed off the line of roasting. Looks very much so like a KFC. Juicy and full to the brim. The scan reveals swarm hosts coming in from all directions. AHGL, is he gonna do it? He sieges! And he takes out 1, Will he get more? 2! Oh my god, XCal just sprinting forward, all the locusts evaporating in the face of this brutal mech play. I actually have not really seen mech versus the devious swarm host. Most of the time swarm hosts are difficult to deal with, or excuse me, are difficult to defend with as Zerg. But given that this map is essentially just a large, narrow path from one base to the other, we're seeing the slow and steady retreat from Sergeant York, who I hope is British, for no other reason than his name. I'm not biased against anyone's geographical location, merely hopeful. Greater Spire now coming down for Sergeant York. Swarm Host, Mutalist, Zergling, Corruptor now coming out. Corruptors may as well be upgraded to Chiropteran. Terrifying beasts only will be destroyed using the blood of the true Terran anti-air. 4 more Thors coming out, outpouring from those factories up in the main base. Nothing's really going down. It looks like we're seeing an attempted mass base snatch up from XCal, but the Zerglings aren't going to allow that. Looks like, oh, the infamous ring around the rosy play. The mines are getting really aggressive. They're going to burrow. Will they go off? Oh, dealing some pretty significant damage to those locusts. Get out of there, Swarm Host. 3 fall almost immediately. Many more to fall soon. Will the mutas, ooh, get killed off? But in the top right, it looks like a planetary fortress. Might be a planetary begging for more reinfortress. Can he get repaired? And repair it. Don't return minerals to it. No, XCal. Fortunately, XCal is still at 4 bases, solidly holding strong, looking very nice in that unit tab. We see 61 drones to 60 SCVs, couple Zerglings there, but, you know, no big deal, says XCal. Just shoot them with guns and scan upon them. More locusts coming up. Widowmine says, what do you want me to do? I'll do it. Anything you want. Just give me, I just need... He needs to get him. Anti-climax. In the meantime, it looks like XCal is now moving down the left path. God, that was worse than the season finale of Sopranos. And now we see the Thors at the backside, not really reinforcing the tank soon enough. They'll be able to pick off those Mutalists. But it's really the small but potent number of Broodlords that XCal really needs to worry about. Uh-oh, I'm out of water. This is concerning because I'm talking a lot, given that this is a solo cast. Another rogue command center playing musical bases will land, trying to become a planetary fortress. We see that these Thors are taking not a lot of damage in the unit counting station. We see that there is just a single Broodlord left. All these Thors have turned into... they've turned into kill Broodlord mode. There's kill Mutalisk mode and kill Broodlord mode, and those are the 2 modes. There's really no other modes. More command centers out now. XCal doing the usual thing, trying to burn his money as best he can. But back in the main base, how many factories does he have? Only 5. How embarrassing. 6. Needs more factories. Needs to be able to begin producing those Hellbats in large numbers. Continuing to see Sergeant York is actually tipped the unit's loss tab into his favor. Sergeant York even has this juicy, very easy to take 4th base, but is instead opting for the farther away bases, a little bit more difficult to deal with without a very mobile, aggressive Terran army. XCal needs to take this center base. He needs to take the center base. Planetary, in your face, Ravens going down now. An amazing transition for the meching player. With those Ravens, he'll be able to Seeker Missile Broodlords, Seeker Missile Corruptors, Seeker Missile anything that clusters. Do you like my rhyming skills? Oh, looks like a couple on Javelin missiles, a couple on anti-Broodlord mode. He needs to get out of there. He needs to get out of there fast. Those will fall very soon. He needs to get out of there. Get out of there! A lot of mines, a lot of locusts, a lot of dead morphing Broodlords. Will he get one more shot off? It looks like the grinder of meat. Grinds up all the needy locusts. We see yet more Broodlords being produced because if at first you don't succeed, try again. A fairy tale is just as effective in a real life death or die situation. And it's not death or die. Forgive me. It's do or die. More Zerglings going up to the top side. Oh, it looks like AHGL's Planetary Fortress is not done yet. The Planetary Fortress isn't done. He lifts it up. That SCVs say, I'll keep building what you tell me to build. I trust you so much, but trust wasn't enough. They're dead now. The blood of those SCVs is now in the hands of the Red Palantir, Terran AHGL, and Sergeant York from National Instruments. He's trying to compute his best path to victory as well as his best past. The Beth from the past beckons him into the future of winning. He said eloquently, oh, they're burrowing. There's the... Oh, the Seeker missiles! Oh, do massive damage to those Broodlords. The Vikings are ripping them apart. Half in Javelin mode, half not. Clusters of units, massive numbers of things going on. The drama is maximum. Only 4 Broodlords remain, and their numbers rapidly dwindling. Is there actually enough to do yet another Raven Blast? He has, oh, one more Seeker Missile in him, but does he know it? Does he feel the Seeker Missile within? It looks like the Terran Mech AHGL is blasting forward. Berlin Ice Bears! Sergeant York stepping in with a couple of those free locusts. But what does free mean to a man that has 5 bases? Just ask the Donald Trump of Mech AHGL, now taking himself a 6th base. Because who doesn't like a nonsensical amount of bases? More Ravens being produced, which means these Ravens have to have been noticed by now. Amazingly, they're not, but they need to step into battle to be able to begin Seeker Missiling this inevitable Corruptor Broodlord mixture that will be, no doubt, game-ending should it get too large. Locusts are being damn annoying. And here it comes. 3 units, the Locust stepping into action. 4 more Locusts coming, or 4 more Swarm Hosts coming out. +2/+2 in the middle of the map. An attempted counterattack. It looks like it's all gas all the time. Preserve, both players basically broke. Ouch. And will the other ouch go down? Uh-oh. There's the scan. The Corruptors could serve as a juicy target. Planetary Fortress. Planetary Fortress. Planetary Fortress. And will the Seeker Missile go down? Nope. Ravens believe that they can take out this Broodlord single-handedly. Corruptors step in. He needs to begin getting those Javelin missile shots on. It looks like that he is in the not the explosive payload mode. He's in fact in the high-impact payload. Starting to get assaulted from a lot of different sides. He needs to engage AHGL. Where's the Raven Seeker Missile? Step up. Get the Seeker Missile in there. Get in there. Get in there. Much like milk at breakfast cereal, it just needs to get in there. And there, it looks like the Seeker Missile target. He's gone down. Oh! Oh! Brutal hit. Brings most of those Corruptors down to the red zone. Welcome to the end of autumn. Winter spells only death for these poor, unprotected Corruptors. The Swarm Host, with a ridiculous amount of kills, will not be enough to stop the Terran army that's about to surround the Swarm Host. But it looks like we're seeing another counterattack come up by Sergeant York, who wants to get a little bit of extra value out of these Swarm Hosts, but he will not do it because there's a huge Terran army there, and these poor Swarm Hosts are virtually defenseless. They look like silly hunchbacks trying to find some form of attack. All getting annihilated. They're continuing to run to puke a little bit extra. The mines burrow right next to them. The free Swarm Hosts. Oh no, Sergeant York. Might be Sergeant Borked. He's playing from behind. He's low on money. He's against a meching player of considerable fortitude. No Hellions needed. All that supply is spent on the more expensive Ravens. Tanks. Thors, and of course a couple of key Widow mines, 8 to be exact. Means AHGL is in good shape, 6 bases. Now to fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 on 6. 6, given the reflexive property, is oftentimes equal to 6. There we see XCal. With a couple of mines planned for counterattacks, has planetary fortresses leading everything. This is a vulnerable orbital command. This is a very vulnerable series of orbital commands, but not with these 2 planetary fortresses protecting them. Looks like the action has finally cooled down a bit. The Overseer says, I found him. He's on me. No real aggression has been thrown down up at the north side. It's pretty much just standard, slow, calm, free locus, units lost tab. Starting to look less good for Zerg. 4 Brublorbs. 4 Brublords. Ladies and gentlemen, I want your predictions of this match. Who is going to win? Team Palantir or Team National Instruments? I want your predictions on this game. Who is going to win, Sergeant York or XCal? In my eyes, it's looking very, 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 very good for the Palantir Terran. 10 Corruptors. The pressure is on. Look at the number of people watching. A guy is watching. XCal stepping up. Mines burrowing. Oh, Corruptors get nailed by a Widow Mine. It looks like that one Overseer decides to beg for his own mine death. See ya later, Broodlords. Corruptors looking for a way to angle themselves in, and it's a dud. 4 step in. A Manor Mule down. XCal thinks it's time to trash talk. Killing an expansion, killing 1, killing 2. Why is Zerg looking so blue? He chose it pre-game, but there's a special little bit of eye contact where I'm getting some feels out of Zerg. And he says it feels bad. A single mule sacrificially there to show a status of manliness. XCal has 10 mines burrowed. Lings, are they going to set him off? The mines go off dealing a little bit more damage to those Thors than to anything else. More Thors being produced back home out of one of the many 6 factories. 3-3 upgrades done. Just time for the +3 air attack. Spine crawlers poking those Thors in the face. But a face poke is nothing to a giant walking mecha giant. Point in the game, XCal already has the 112 energy Ravens. They'll be able to deal easily with this Brublorb force. Starting to see all the Widow Mines come back. The expansion well defended. More mines, Thors, Hellions, Ravens, the whole works. Uh-oh, will they get it off? It's a dud. What are you oh. It's like, are you serious? Scan goes down from the Terran player, trying to spot what Zerg is up to. Terran is going to pull back to his reinforcements, and he's going to go. Things looking very, very good for our Terran player from Team Palantir. His shape is excellent. His decision-making, flawless. Not a criticism can be laid upon the Terran player from Team Palantir, for he is building an army of Thors so big that not even Overseers can oversee it. XCal finds a queen, ends her life. What's the use of a monarchy in the age of the internet, he says. A couple of locusts try to step into the fray. Too bad they're just a pile of ashes on the ground. And you know what sounds fair to me? As dead Zerg with 0 bases, Thors, and more Thors, making Sergeant York feel quite Thor. Hydras try to swing in. Are Hydras the answer? Or are they the question? What are these Hydras doing here? The answer? The last hope of Zerg. A pile of red rubble, red blood, red things that are not the units of XCal indicate that Sergeant York is on his last leg. The leg getting targeted fire edited. More mines being burrowed at the front. Offensive mines. It makes almost no sense unless you're in the world of StarCraft and in the hands of XCal. There's only so many ways to say that Zerg's dead, but the Zerg defines it his own unique way with a well-played GG, meaning that Palantir leads the series now 2-1 as we head into game number 4. It is Viro from Palantir versus Come On Man from National Instruments. If you're in the mood for awesomeness, stay tuned, because we're at match point in the After Hours Gaming League, yes.